On a distant world, a group of interstellar travelers face a daunting task. They must build a new colony on an alien world, carving their future from the planet's surface and facing its challenges head-on. Will their new colony survive? Will it become a monument to human endeavors? Or will it be lost? Their lives and their stories swallowed by the cold silence of space. Planetbase is a management and simulation game where you are placed in charge of a group of colonists who have traveled to a distant world to start a new life. Your goal, after you set down on this new planet, is to take your first few founding settlers, establish a base of operations, gather resources, and eventually build up a thriving colony in the hostile environment. Each time you begin a level in Planetbase, you start by landing on a new world with a small group of colonists. Each of these colonists has a specialization. Workers will gather raw materials for you. Engineers can construct buildings and operate heavy machinery. Medics will tend to the sick, and botanists will grow your food. A fifth type of colonists, guards, can be recruited later on and are used to ensure the safety of your colony. During gameplay, you will be using these colonists to build and then operate your new base. In order to actually start your colony, you first need to build an atmosphere generator for oxygen, a solar panel for electricity, a water condenser for water obviously, and an airlock so that people can get inside. Once you have this basic setup, you can add additional structures as needed. Biospheres, for instance, will allow you to farm food for your colonists, while processing plants will allow you to refine raw materials. Once you have a basic economy established, you can build more advanced structures such as robotics bays or laboratories, which allow you to turn your basic resources into more valuable goods such as helpful robots or life-saving medicines. Eventually, you'll be able to build landing pads, which will allow you to either recruit more settlers to your colony or exchange resources with off-world merchants. As your colony grows, you'll need to expand your base and provide more amenities for your colonists so that they can rest and relax. A distinct feature of Planetbase is that each new structure you build has to be connected to a previous building in your base. And this means that expansion requires some forethought to ensure that you don't run out of space and that your supply lines are operating efficiently. Now, the good thing about Planetbase is that it has very smooth pacing, and that like any good management game, it rewards proper planning. That as you are expanding your colony, you need to keep in mind your current available resources, and especially your power grid that delivers air, water, and electricity to your colony. If you run out of any of those three, especially electricity, it can have disastrous consequences. Buildings start shutting down, and your colonists might be trapped outside of the airlocks. It's a game where you need to be careful. Expanding too quickly can cause you to run out of power. Recruiting too many colonists can cause you to run out of food. The different planets also have disasters that can make trouble for you. Some might have dust storms, or blizzards, or lightning strikes, or even meteors that can damage your base and kill your colonists. If you're not prepared, it can be disastrous. But like I said before, the game rewards proper planning. And there are plenty of structures such as power collectors or defense stations or even lightning rods that can help you deal with these challenges as long as you set them up ahead of time. Now, I do have some complaints about Planetbase. For instance, starting a new map can be very tricky. If you remember, I talked about how each new base hub needs to be constructed so that it interlocks with a previously built structure. This means that your starting location is very important because you need a suitable location that will allow you to expand. But because all of the maps are randomize, starting a new level, especially at the higher difficulty settings, can occasionally give you a pretty much useless starting location. At which point, your only option is to quit out and start the mission over again. Also, there's a special type of disaster called intruders that can happen no matter what planet you pick, where a group of armed criminals invade your base and just start shooting your citizens for no discernible reason. These attacks are incredibly annoying, highly unpredictable, and the only way to prevent them is to completely ban new people from coming to your base. Still, I have to admit my complaints exist mostly at the periphery, and the core gameplay of Planetbase is still very good. I would give Planetbase 3 out of 4 stars, and my recommendation. It's got kind of a rough difficulty curve for beginners, since the consequences for mismanagement are that your colonists asphyxiate in the cold darkness of space. But beyond that, the core gameplay is very well paced and has an interesting gimmick for how you expand your colony. Alright, thanks for watching. As for me, I'm heading back to the stars to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos.